Hi.
Hi.
Hello, my name is Blake.
My name is Gabriel Lazo.
My name is Danny.
My name is Dean.
My name is Max Peck. I'm a senior here at UCSB.
And I am a UCSB student.
And I'm in Campus Democrats.
I have co-founded Students Supporting Israel.
And I'm a third year Film and Media Studies and Communications double major.
I'm a member of Alpha Epsilon Pi.
And I'm the president of the Student Veterans Organization.
My name is Dan Linz. I have had the honor of teaching this course entitled Communicating Consent. And in this course, we've attempted to understand what is consent. And I can tell you at the end of it, I've learned so much from the students, but I couldn't tell you what consent is.
I was sexually assaulted using drugs and alcohol when I was underage.
And he took advantage of me.
The first assault was from someone who I didn't know, and that had less of effect than the second assault.
My definition of sexual consent is active, continuous agreement between two parties during any kind of sexual encounter.
Honestly, I don't think that I have a holistic definition of sexual consent that would be all-encompassing. I think it's much too complicated of a subject to narrow down into one single definition. Jumping into a therapy session with CAPS, which I love.
I found my current group of teammates and best friends, and those are the people who I talk about everything with now.
% of attempted and completed rapes of women in college were reported to law enforcement officers.
So there's 9 things you need to know about Title IX. Number 1, Title IX is a landmark civil right that prohibits sex discrimination in education. Number 2, Title IX does not apply to females only. Duh.
It is a misconception that males are not sexually assaulted.
As a male in college, I really didn't know much about sexual assault.
From a male's perspective, after a sexual assault, I would want to know that what had happened is not okay and is not acceptable. I would want to know the importance and the severity of the assault, and that just because I'm a guy doesn't mean that sort of behavior is acceptable.
Even people close to me have been affected by sexual assault, and only now did I realize how important it is.
Some males feel like they lose their sense of masculinity after an assault and fail to report the abuse and properly ask for help.
Number 3, schools must be proactive in ensuring that sexual discrimination is prohibited on their campuses.
I'd ask you, would you uphold that 2011 Title IX guidance as it relates to sexual assault on campus?
Well, Senator, I know that there's a lot of conflicting ideas and opinions around that guidance, and if confirmed, I would look forward to working with you and your colleagues and understand the range of opinions and understand the issues from the higher ed institutions that are charged with resolving these and addressing them. And I would look forward to working together to find some resolutions.
Well, I agree with the guidance, so I'm just asking for a yes or no. I guess you're not going to give me a yes or no answer on committing to upholding that guidance.
it would be premature for me to do that today.
Four, schools must have an established procedure for handling complaints about sexual discrimination, harassment, and violence. Five, schools should ensure that victims do not have to share spaces such as dorms, classrooms, or even jobs on campus with his or her assailant. Number six, schools may not retaliate against anybody filing a complaint, and they also must protect them against any forms of harassment. Number seven, schools can actually prohibit any interaction with the victim's assailant. Number eight, in cases of sexual violence, schools are prohibited from allowing or encouraging mediation rather than a formal hearing of the complaint.
Title IX hearings are a process by which the university has a committee or a tribunal that can decide to expel a student for rape or sexual assault. The procedures really vary from university to university and campus to campus. Sometimes decisions can be appealed either way. Sometimes students are on the committee for the hearing. Title IX hearings are controversial politically. A lot of the criticism comes from violating the rights of accused people, but I think there's also a lot of ways that they fail victims of sexual assault and rape too. And I think it's weird that they're viewed as the primary way to resolve this issue or to punish rapists, because it's a crime. It's not plagiarism, and people should go to jail for it, not just get expelled from school. And in Haven and Gaucho FYI, which are like the most visible things that they give us for, information about sexual assault here, they don't ever really mention or emphasize going to the police, getting a rape kit administered, or pressing charges. And I think the idea that universities can solve it internally has failed so far, and I don't see why that's going to change.
And lastly, number 9. Schools cannot discourage you from continuing your education just because you made a complaint.
In fact, the number of sexual assault reportings have actually increased. And a lot of people believe that this is due to people being more comfortable reporting and being able to talk about it rather than an increase of attacks.